Greetings, Earthlings. Today's video is going to be about my spiritual beliefs, what I think happiness is, and, how to achieve that, my views on the world, stuff like that. So, I will begin through my journey from the beginning. My dad was never religious. He was always very into science, history, anything of that nature. My mom was never she didn't go to church or anything, but she always believed in a higher power, I suppose. And I mean, since I was a kid, I always had thought that religion was stupid, to be honest. I'm just putting it blankly. That's literally what I thought. Now, I thought this for about, I'd say 21 to 22 years of my life. I always just felt like things are exactly as you see them. We're alive and you die and then, nothing happens. Everything just turns black. Those are my thoughts. And, I had felt like religion was, where's the foundation, those are my thoughts. How can you, just say there's a fucking man up in the sky, to me it was just stupid. So as I started to grow older, I did question things like how the universe works, but I didn't go into depth about them. And my main question was always, space. How does something go on forever? But how does something end and not be inside of something greater? So it was the mystery of space that ultimately led me to more discoveries, which brought me to a spiritual place. So I was doing my research. I was asking people about different theories of the universe and how it's created, and I started researching stuff. And eventually, I started looking up how universes work, like parallel universes, fourth dimension, and so on. And I'll link you guys to videos below what I watched and stuff that's just helped me realize and let things click in my head as to what's most likely going on. I still don't have answers. But that's what I believe in things now. So that's a start. So somebody brought this one theory to my attention, which was the hologram theory. The hologram theory, it's a little difficult to explain, so I will leave you guys links below as well to explain what exactly that could be. But that opened up my eyes to a completely different world. I watch videos that had, references to scientific experiments that were done that have proven things. There are experiments that have proven that humans can emit telepathic waves. And I can't make this shit up. These are real experiments. And apparently telepathic waves move faster than the speed of light. It could take 865 million light years, and it would take 0.8 of a second for a telepathic wave to travel all throughout space. And there are monks that spend their entire lives meditating. And there are stories that people can reach other places, and and I kind of do believe that, because if your brain waves can travel faster than anything, I mean, doesn't that mean we're all a little connected? And I started to think about consciousness. What happens when you die? Your body disappears, but if energy could not be created or destroyed, where do you go? Where does your soul go? Where do your thoughts go? Thoughts can't die. You can't destroy them. Consciousness is, it's something that you can't really explain, but it's something that's in all of us humans. And I feel like there's got to be more. And I started looking more into like the scientific aspect of all this, and I discovered frequencies and rocks, stones, stuff like that. Everything has a magnetic frequency that comes from it, and supposedly emotions have different frequencies. And it's really true. People say you get vibes from people. These things are real. It's not in your imagination. Your gut feeling, your intuition, that is real. And when you actually decide to listen to it, you see the world in a different way. And I see the world in a different way every single day. I've been learning to grow more patient and to love the world and to just find meaning in my life, because we live in a society where everything's controlled by media. You have thousands of images flashing in front of you every day. People are glued to their cell phones, and everyone complains about this, but yet, we're all still doing this, and we just keep following this herd of consumerism, and we're all just completely, our lives are altered by it. I mean, people say, what is the American dream, to make a lot of money? Money can't buy you happiness, money buys you objects. And it seems to be human nature that the more we are able to get, the less we appreciate it, the more we just want something more. We got PS1, now they got PS2, they're always putting out stuff to get us to keep buying, to keep the economy going. It's the way the entire world works is completely ass hat backwards. And I think a lot of people realize this, but they don't know how to go about changing these kind of things. And that's something I'm still trying to figure out. I'm aware of what's going on in the universe and the world around me, but now my goal is, how am I going to change this for the better? And the thing people say is, well, one person is going to make a difference. Well, one person can influence other people, which can influence other people, and we can make a difference. That's the thing. I spent so much of my life completely unhappy, really not even questioning what life was about. I mean, I just lived to live, and there's just so much more than what we are taught. Morals, anything anything that you've ever known really is all just passed down from other people. People need to focus more on learning things for themselves. Meditation really helps. We need to learn to make ourselves happy. And that's one of the main reasons relationships are such failures nowadays. People don't even know how to be happy with themselves. I didn't know how to be happy with myself, and I'm not always happy with myself. Physically, I'm never happy with myself. As a person, though, lately, I've been really trying. I'm so much happier with myself now. Still not at the point I want to be at, but besides the point, you can't be with somebody if you aren't complete, because same thing with consumerism. Humans are not satisfied. Something will go wrong, and you're not going to be happy with the person. You're going to fear losing them. Maybe you'll do something in fear of losing them. It doesn't matter. But either way, it's an upward and then downward spiral. It's like a roller coaster. And until you understand how to be a complete person on your own, and that other person knows how to do that as well, things will never work out. And I used to get so angry all the time at people, customers, just people I have to surround myself with every day. But this mindset that I've been in has made me realize what is important to me, and getting stressed out over shit that doesn't matter in my life is not important to me anymore. So, somebody screaming in my face about something, I'm not gonna put myself in that level, because, they're so focused on themselves and these little things like, oh, you didn't slice my bread right, and you didn't bake my cake right. What, stupid ass shit that really doesn't fucking matter, to be honest. None of this shit really fucking matters. I honestly just want to get rid of all the shit that I have and just, like, figure out how to live in the wild sometimes. But I know even that would get lonely. Like, I'm trying to figure out what the meaning of life is still, and I haven't figured it out yet, but I do think that there is a meaning to life. It's not just, we don't just exist. There's too much evidence, that shows clearly, like, there's more to life than just existing. I mean, the entire universe, the way it's constructed, our perception of what we see, everything about us, clearly we were designed for more than just being. So that's one thing I really hope people will realize soon. I started studying a few religions as well, just out of plain curiosity. I wanted to know what they were about, and I wanted to know their beliefs. I studied Hinduism, Buddhism, and you know what? I agree with a lot of things between different religions. I'm not going to say I follow one thing or the other, because you're putting yourself in a box by doing that. And I think that if you want to have an open mind, you need to literally keep your mind open to different options. Don't label yourself to one thing, because as soon as you do that, you're just, doing exactly what everybody else is doing, just in a different form. So I live each day trying my best to find beauty in the simplest things. I don't relate to people as much anymore for that reason. Everybody's very stuck in the way that we are conditioned to think, to feel. So often, I don't relate to people, and it is really lonely at times, because I don't know what to talk about with people. I try to talk about these kind of things, and people usually don't really want to listen. And, the sad thing is that I feel like, I think I'm pretty helpful, especially now. And I feel like if people just open their minds and try to listen to something other than what they're used to, they might be able to help themselves. But at this moment in time, it is hard. It's difficult. But I make it a quest pretty much every day of my life to try to help people understand, and myself understand, that all this shit doesn't matter. What matters is literally making yourself happy. Happiness doesn't mean objects, doesn't mean money. It doesn't necessarily mean relationships. You need to find yourself. Simple as that. And I know I have a long way to go, but something inside of me has clicked, and I feel like I've evolved as a person. Like, I'd say my whole life up until I was like 18, I really started questioning things a little bit. I'd say I was like a Charmander, right? Then I was like a Charmeleon for quite a few years, like kind of questioning things, but still kind of close-minded. And once all of this has clicked with me, I feel like a different person. So these are my thoughts on the world. If you want me to go into depth about one of these subjects, whether it be, consumerism, the religion aspect, I can do that as well. So yeah, I guess next will be a question and answer video. So leave me some questions. Or my next video I'll go into depth. Maybe I'll make a cover. I don't fucking know. My channel's unpredictable. I make videos as I feel them. I don't just fucking plan this shit out. That's the other thing with life. When you have expectations, you're always disappointed. You just need to live in the moment, in the present, enjoy every moment that you have, because you cannot go back and you cannot go forward. Why spend your time being upset about the past because you can't go to it? Why worry about the future when you can, carefully not plan, but just be careful. You don't have to worry so much. And that's coming from me. I have really bad anxiety. I I took medicine for it and I weaned myself off because another thing, that I realized was pharmaceutical medication is extremely just not good. The way that they research things is absolutely unprofessional and horrible. They'll spend less than a month and say that, that they do long-term studies. And then they come to find out years later that all these side effects and diseases and deaths were caused by these medicines. The people that create them are completely unapologetic. They write off people that don't feel the effects of the medicine as non-compliant, so their statistics are different. Everything's skewed. Everything's fucked up. Honestly, like, what we are fed is complete bullshit. And you know why they do this? To keep the revenue, to keep the money. Because it's easier to just keep going in one direction than realizing that the direction you are going is wrong, and to turn around and go in another direction. So that's the way the world is working right now. Everything's moving in a backwards direction, and people are too scared to just fucking stop what they're doing and turn the fuck around, because we're going backwards and we need to move forwards. That's all I gotta say.